got the new to us RX-8 in the shop, did the basic checks, got it started, and took it out for a test drive. Well, we've driven our RX-8 over here, and we have found that once it gets hot, it doesn't want to start, which is usually an indication of low compression or bad coils. So what we've decided to do is just pull the hood off, take this stiffener out, and remove the airbox and see if there's anything that we can see inside of here. Well, we've just removed the airbox, and the news is not good. If you look inside here, there's engine oil, and a lot of it inside the intake. And that's usually a symptom of blow-by, where compression from the engine is going into the oil pan and pushing oil into your intake. So I strongly suspect that we have a seal issue with this engine, and if it's never been done, it has 107,000 miles on it, which is kind of spectacular for a Renesis engine. So I think we're going to go ahead, pull this engine, and we might just be able to use it in another project that we have coming up soon. So Carl, tell us what you're going to do next.
Take the surge tank out, the battery box, the tray for that air box, and take all that out so we can start getting ready to pull the engine out.
Alright, it's looking good. What's going to happen next?
Next, we're going to take the engine out, so we're going to drop the power frame, and we're going to take the engine mounts off, and then we'll pull the engine out.
What tips do you have for taking this engine out?
Don't forget to drain your transmission fluid. You need to drain the transmission fluid. And then take the shifter off. It makes it a lot easier to get the engine out.
Right, there's quite a few things that we need to do to this new second-hand engine before we install it. The first thing that we want to do is we want to take off this air injection tube and install a blank-off kit. We've got one from TST or Twin Sticks Technologies. We're going to install a new thermostat over here so that we don't have to worry about that for temperature. On this side of the engine, we need to remove and install a new oil pipe over here. We're going to take the one that we took off the old engine and reinstall it because this one here has been cut off. So we've pulled the old thermostat out, and the new one has been very cleverly thought out. See, there's a little tab right there, and the thermostat has a little tab on the seal, so all you do is set it into position like that, and you're good to go. We can quickly reassemble this, and the new thermostat is in there. Now the old thermostat, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it was good just the way it is, so probably wasn't necessary to swap that out, but I like just putting a new thermostat in. Next thing we're going to do is install a Sohn adapter onto this oil metering pump over here. Now, on a rotary engine, the oil metering pump takes some of the engine oil and through these tubes squirts it onto the seal areas between the rotors. The problem is that you're always pulling engine oil, and as your engine oil gets dirty, you're squeezing dirty oil into that. So the best way to do that is actually to install a Sohn adapter, which allows you to pipe two-stroke oil into this pump over here, and so you're introducing two-stroke oil that burns cleaner and doesn't have as much carbon deposits. So in general, a really good modification to make. Alright, so we've just opened up our oil metering pump over here. Important to note, this black seal over there, don't lose that. We're going to use that again, and then this is the engine side where that little shaft is going to go in. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to clean this surface really well. Our gasket is going to go against that, and then we'll install the Sohn adapter. Alright, so what I'm doing is just taking some of that two-stroke oil and coating this pin. You'll see that this Sohn adapter is going on this way around. So we're going to slide this pin in here from the inside so we don't damage the seal. Right, so just very gently without damaging the seal. I'm going to slide that pin through. Now that the pin's protruding, we can add the gasket and then install the Sohn adapter. Right, now that I've got it pretty much installed, I was actually quite surprised how tricky it is to get these bolts in. It's a lot harder than I was expecting. Final thing we need to do is just install this adapter over here so that we can connect our hose up to supply our two-stroke oil. Well, tragedy has struck. As I was busy installing this little fitting, it's actually snapped clean off. So I'm going to have to get an easy out now and get this little piece out, and then figure out where I can find another one of these little connectors. So this part that broke in the Sohn adapter is a M8 by 1.25, which is a metric screw thread. We can't find any of those in any of the stores in the town that we stay in, and we could order one off Amazon, but using a coarse thread metric fitting doesn't make sense. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to drill and tap my Sohn adapter to 1/8 NPT, and by doing that I'll be able to use a standard fitting that you can get from any store. So we have squared this Sohn adapter in the drill chuck, and we're going to go ahead and drill and then tap this to 1/8 NPT. Right, so I've now installed this 1/8 NPT fitting over there, and I certainly was able to get it a lot tighter than what I did with the M8 fitting. So if you are going to install one of these eBay Sohn adapters, I certainly would recommend that you drill and tap that to 1/8 NPT and install a fitting that sits in there. It seals a lot better, at least. So we're about to take off this old AC compressor over here. Now, TST make these awesome little blank off blocks that you can remove the hoses and then pull the seals off and reuse the seals, and that seals your AC condensing unit. Pretty great just to get those. Make sure that nothing gets into your AC unit while you're busy changing out your engine. So TST has made this really awesome blank off kit for both of your intake manifolds, your oil inlet over here, your two banjo bolts, as well as your gear shifter over there. And with that all blanked off, this engine is actually now ready to go and set it back into our RX-8.
Okay, we're going to take it off the engine. So now we're going to get ready. We're going to go ahead and put this engine on the hoist and put it in the car. So next we're going to change this fan out because it's a bit broken, and then we'll put a new radiator in it, and then we'll put the harnesses, and then we'll start finishing this back up and get the car back running and driving. So next we're going to install this tank from Twin Sticks Technologies for our Sohn adapter, and then we're going to change the transmission oil, the engine oil, put coolant into it, and then we should be good for a first start. So we're gonna go ahead and try and start the car. We'll see what happens. Here we go.
We waited until the next morning, checked all the fluids, and tried once again to fire up the JDM Renesis.
I'm going to go ahead and start the car now.
Well done! Look at all the smoke coming out the back.
RX-8 for a few months now. The JDM Renesis engine turned out to be a great decision to get this car up and going. Make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss our next RX-8 adventure.